Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Coinsider live stream. My name is Josh. I'm here with my partner, Kevin. And as every single Friday, we're going to be taking a look at the crypto markets. So, first and foremost, Kevin, with all this selling, how are you feeling today about the markets? Have you looked at your crypto portfolio?
My crypto portfolio looks bad, especially barbell strategy on the other side, right? The risky side. Those got destroyed the past few months. By the way, real quick mic check. For those who are here, please let us know if our mics sound good, volume wise for Josh and I. Back to the markets. Yeah, barbell
Yes.
portfolio. The even BTC has been falling a lot in the past like day and a half or so.
Yes,
So
indeed.
I've been saying that I've been bearish the past few weeks, and I have been shorting heavy to hedge. And so that's been quite volatile because when the markets bump back up like mid last week or something, the shorts got hurt, but they survived and I went heavy short again. And now they're even more in profits. But look, like I said all along, I'm not looking to make I'm not looking to like swing trade with margin, right? I'm not looking to like all of a sudden go long. I'm purely using this to hedge. So I'm essentially only shorting. And if I get liquidated, I'm okay with it because the price will be like back to 60K, 65K or so before I get liquidated. So yeah, if I get liquidated, I'll be happy because I'll have saved the markets. So I'll
That's
just leave
right.
it at that.
You know what? I'm a witness, and Kevin is quite the trader because he was shorting from I think 72, 71K, and he made that very, very public. So good for you, Kevin, on that short. He did very well with that. So as always, we're gonna go ahead and look at the markets. We like to start macro with Bitcoin, and then we're gonna sort of go a little bit more micro and look at some of the altcoins and what's really going on here in the markets today. So we have Bitcoin sitting at that 56K level, and the capitulation in the markets has been absolutely insane. Like we have people actually sending goodbye letters
Oh
on
dang.
Twitter to
My
crypto. I'm
shorts are
not sure if
getting
you got to look.
destroyed right now, going back to 56K. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Keep
I'm
going.
not sure you've seen. Yeah, I'm not sure you've seen some of the goodbye letters. Like for instance, Pauly,
Yes, I
one of the
saw
most
that
prominent
one.
guys in cryptos. So he went ahead and posted a note. It's with a heavy heart that I write this farewell message. We have had some truly great times in the world of crypto, watching the market soar to new heights and cheering each other on. And it's a very heartfelt message he put out here. But the thing about me is I don't like to sort of use the sentiment of Twitter to make my decisions. For instance, I'm not leaving, and we'll get into some of that a little bit later. But it's good to see, every angle of the market. What are your thoughts on this, Kevin? People leaving crypto
Well,
because
first
of
of all, I
this.
think a lot of people troll for engagement. So I don't think like look, Polly's entire following, which is valuable because
Yeah,
he can use that to like, I don't know, launch some shit coins or something.
yeah, as he
His
does.
entire following is on Twitter or X. So he's not leaving. He's doing this for engagement farming. I mean, yeah, he
Yeah,
got 400,000 views on it.
yeah,
But I think people are leaving and people are capitulating. That is true.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, BTC has been dropping, but look at alts. Like a lot of them are like down 80, 90% is insane. Not just like in the past few days, but in the past
Yeah,
like 3 months, or just go to 1 month actually.
even the month chart. I mean, the
Like,
day chart looks
yeah,
bad. The
look at
week
the
chart looks
month.
bad.
40 down 48, OP 46%. Oh my goodness. My alts, like I don't have a lot of these anymore, but I have some small cap alts. They are down like 90 from the peak, from the recent peak. It's like crazy.
It's been a tough stretch for altcoins. Altcoins have absolutely been taking a beating. And as I like to do, I like to look at the trading view chart. If you guys remember from last episode, we drew this channel. And as you can see, we've broken the trend. This is, I think, maybe a 3-4 month trend that we have broken here. And yeah, see
What's
4 month range on Bitcoin. Andrew Kang actually commented on this. Most market participants are not appreciating the significance of a potential loss of a 4 month range on Bitcoin. The closest parallel we can draw is that of the range of May 2021, where we also came off of a parabolic rally of Bitcoin in alts. $50 billion of crypto leverage here is similarly at near all-time highs, and but compounded by the fact that this scenario we have ranged even longer, 18 weeks versus 13, and we have not had extreme washouts yet, while we had a few in the middle of 2020 2021 bull market, drawing from the past. So it's likely, as he said, his initial estimates of low 50Ks were too conservative, and people are now calling for 40K, 38K. If we pop over here, we can see the famous McDonald's signal being made on the charts, that double top, right? And people are calling for 38K Bitcoin, 40K Bitcoin,
dang?
and pretty much
If
say this aggressive bull market is coming to a close. That goodbye letter, as Kevin said, it's true that a lot of these influencers are engagement farming and trying to get that shock value, like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? Like, what do you
if
mean
that
you're
comes, my
liquidating?
shorts are absolutely gonna print
Printing.
like no other.
You
Like
like
I'm
this
gonna
chart, eh?
short. Like listen, guys, I'm gonna short until I'm liquidated, and I'm not gonna be liquidated until it's like 69, 70K or some shit like that, or
Which would be
65K.
really good.
Which
Yeah,
would be better for the markets, which would mean all these patterns are invalidated. So
which
that's
would
my
be
plan.
really good.
Also, can you
Yes.
go back to
So
the coin market cap thing real
yeah,
quick?
absolutely.
So I've always complained about these like little news things that pop up here that they added,
Yep.
but these are actually really good because there's a lot of FUD about Mount Gox people about to sell their BTC, and
I
also
was
the
about to get
German
into that.
government selling their BTC. So that's been
German,
a
yeah,
lot of FUD lately.
yeah, no, 100%, and well said. The little news bubbles, I actually have come to appreciate it. For instance, the German government, I wasn't as aware of that piece of news. However, I was just about to touch on the elephant in the room, Mount Gox, right? So we have the Mount Gox overhang, right? And when you pair that in with the low inflows we've been actually seeing over the past few days, weeks, in the ETFs, that's sort of a double negative that's causing for this capitulation. But as on the contrary, we see all this red in the market. We see all this capitulation on Twitter. We see people leaving. You guys have to remember that this market is actually designed to shake you out. And as I always
Exactly.
like to say, and as I always like to do, when in doubt, zoom out. But before that, just to even play devil's advocate a little further, I popped open TradingView instead of CoinMarketCap because I want to pop open the 200-day SMA, simple moving average. Okay,
Okay,
and
let's
that's
see
this
this.
line. That's this line right here
Ooh,
that just appeared. Okay,
we dropped down
and
under it.
we
Yeah.
dropped under it. And here's the thing about that. Just to further play, the bear case, play into the bear case. This moving average is actually essentially our bull market support, right? And it's actually has also served as our bear market resistance. If we scroll back, right, you can kind of see bear market resistance, bull market support for the most part. And for the first time since really starting our aggressive rally from, you can see here, 28,000 all the way up to 70,000, we've been well over that 200-day simple
Yeah,
moving
we didn't
average.
really test the support that many
We
times
didn't
though.
test it. No, we didn't test it. And so for the first time, we're actually breaking under it. Yesterday, I was taking a look when we just peaked under it, but now we're pretty well under it. And we've closed that daily candle over here underneath the 200-day moving average. You pair that up with all the FUD that's hitting the markets as far as Mount Gox, as far as the Germany selling, and so on and so forth. And you have people like Andrew Kang and the Moon Carl, these analysts, calling for the end of the bull run. Okay, but as I like to say, when in doubt, zoom out. So we're actually going to go ahead and switch over to the 1 week chart over here. And to be honest with you, let me go ahead and pull out just a regular line, and let's go ahead and sort of draw a line from the bottoms that we have right now. Okay, that's a parabola. I'm having even a hard time. That's a parabola, right? Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
a parabola.
I'll say that's a parabola. And I say when in doubt, zoom out. So here's the one thing. The reason for this most recent selling, right, is speculation on the Mount Gox selling and the Mount Gox dumping, which I think is actually overestimated by the markets. And I can show you exactly why I have this sentiment here. So if we pop open to, I believe it was Ash Crypto, he nailed it. So as you guys may or may not know, first let me actually go to the Mount Gox, sort of fear piece over here. So as you may know, 141,000 Bitcoin, that's the amount that's getting distributed from Mount Gox to their investors. 141,000 Bitcoin.
Okay.
And at the time that the investors were getting in, Bitcoin was at $600. All the investors who are getting their money back from the Mount Gox redistributions are up over 100x.
Yeah.
And all these tokens could potentially be dumped onto the market, and you actually have 71k going out as the first batch. So 141k is the total amount, but almost half of it is going in that first batch. Between now and October, there's going to be payouts for the Mount Gox, for
Yep.
the Mount Gox redistribution. But one thing I like to go ahead and look at is this tweet here by Ash Crypto. Is the Mount Gox situation really as daunting and as scary as it is? Are people overestimating this? Inflows, as I spoke on earlier, were almost halted. Like they were down way bad because of, again, Mount Gox. People are scared that all these tokens are going to be dumped and the potential effects it would have on the market. But I actually want to take you guys through this tweet here about the Mount Gox dump FUD. As I said, 141k BTC. The market is dumping as people are thinking Bitcoin might hit 45 or even 40k. So let's clarify the FUD about the Mount Gox dump. So again, distribution in 3 phases: early payment July to October, intermediate payment, and then years later, actually, correction would be the final payment. So early payment, 71k BTC, and different types of investors. There's credit funds, exchanges, individual creditors, and as I mentioned, they're up over a 100x. But the total selling amount will be around 35,700 Bitcoin, worth about $2.1 billion. That's if half of the Bitcoin that's distributed is sold. So actually, as of right now, the market can handle 6 to 10,000 Bitcoin sell pressure even as ETF inflows are low. But when ETF inflows are high, Bitcoin can absorb 15 to 25k of daily Bitcoin selling pressure daily, right? And this means that the 35,700 won't have as big as an effect as everyone is making it out to be. And the way the crypto market works, people overreact, overestimate when things like this happen. And so he said, in his opinion, 44 to 52k will be the area where Bitcoin really finds its bottom, finds its support, and only a black swan event could push BTC lower than that. And that actually made me think of this chart over here by Kyle Chassis, or Crashius Clay. Kyle Chassis went ahead and reposted this. So this is something I want to get into, because these red boxes, if you could remember in time, were massive, I would say, FUD events, or capitulation events rather, that happened right before the more aggressive leg of the bull cycle, right? And this also goes in line with the halving, and also goes in line with the elections. Take a look here at how Bitcoin performs at every US election, right? As you can see here, the most aggressive part of the bull run back in 2012 was at the election. Again, in 2016 here, and again 2020 when we had our run, and we are just getting to those levels here. I don't know about you, but to me, this chart looks good and looks like a when in doubt zoom out situation. The Mount Gox sell pressure to me is overestimated, and we are actually still in the best yet to come. That's what I believe for the rest of the market.
But
And also accounting for the halving.
this does also imply that there's still like maybe 5-6 months left of
Pain.
downside or chop before we
Yes.
go to the bull part.
100%. And actually, if you're looking at this red box, the downside for the rest of the red box, we still have potentially some way to go. But I still believe the best is yet to come, because also, if you look back at these previous events here, that last 20% of the bull run, is actually the most aggressive part and where most of the gains are made. As I
Yeah,
mentioned earlier, these markets are designed to shake you out, and things like this shake
exactly.
out many new people, right? But it's who the ones who kind of understand this. And as I said, history repeats doesn't always repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes a lot of the time. So when you look at these capitulation events, we're talking COVID, we're talking FTX, right? So
Hmm.
FTX was more bear market, but we have still gone on to do numbers after that. So Kevin, I have a question for you. Do you think that the Mount Gox sell pressure is overestimated, or do you think the market is right to sort of get out before that happens?
Um, I'm mixed. I do think there's gonna be some net selling pressure because of it. Just because if you put yourself in the shoes of the Mount Gox creditors, especially the individual ones who are getting back their BTC finally 10 years later,
Right.
I would sell that being up 100x,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I expect selling pressure to come, but eventually we will find a bottom from that and from the German government selling. I don't know if they've sold theirs already or they're still in process, but yeah, eventually we'll find a bottom for that,
Okay.
and hopefully resume up from there. Because there's something that I saw. People were like, the traditional markets are actually doing quite well. Like a lot of stocks are, um, just like maybe it's not like Nvidia, but they're still doing like decent, like maybe up 1% or something like that,
Right.
or 2% in a day, which is nothing for Bitcoin, nothing for crypto, but
Hmm.
for stocks, that's amazing. Up 1% a day, that's amazing, and consistently too. So they're saying that it's really like they feel rugged because the boomers and their tradfi stocks are doing well, but crypto is like dropping.
Yeah.
So that's something that's funny. Yeah. Ooh, I do like this. Yes, I'll let you say this.
Yeah, so fear it's funny because this actually is one of my favorite indicators, actually the fear and greed index. From my experience, the most gains are made a lot of the time from being a contrarian, buying blood, buying fear, selling greed, right? You're supposed to buy when everyone is fearful, right? And sell when everyone's euphoric is what I like to look at and what I like to do. So a couple of those charts I showed earlier, I won't go back to them, but a couple of those charts I showed earlier, along with the tweets of the fear, that's actually signaling my personal indicator that I want to actually start averaging in. Maybe I wait a little bit. I don't go aggressive all in one day, but I start actually dribbling into the markets because I like to buy fear. I like to buy
I like
blood,
that. I like
and
exactly
be a
what you said.
contrarian. Mhm.
I like exactly what you said, like going in slow and averaging in, because usually like people see extreme fear, they're like, "Oh, it's a great time to buy." But usually it should last fear for a while
A
and not
while.
just like a day, right?
Yeah,
So I think you're right. It's a good time to buy when there's fear, but don't get over eager too, because fear can stay that way for a while and maybe go down even more, give you even better buying opportunities. So
exactly.
we'll
And that's why
see.
they say, yeah, and that's why the saying goes, never catch a falling knife, right? If you see something completely tanking. Um, you don't try and, oh, I found the bottom, snipe the bottom. It's a good idea to average in when you're thinking about getting in. I don't think the bottom is necessarily definitively in by any stretch, right? There's still overhang, there's still fear in the markets as we're seeing, but it could be a decent idea to dribble in. If you want to know what I'm doing, I'm dribbling into the markets. And even scarier feeling, it's so uncomfortable right now to go and try and buy altcoins, seeing what's going on. It's just been down only, right, for the last for the last
Yeah,
month, last few months. But
the
see, here's the thing about how crypto works. When we do get a bounce, when we do get a rebound, the strongest narrative, the strongest plays will be the biggest winners, right? So I take this as an even more aggressive, less aggressive way. I would average in even slower to alts than I would, of course, to Bitcoin or Ethereum, but could be a great opportunity. Like seeing all this red here for sort of the momentum we've had over the year, over the last year and a half,
Yeah.
opportunities are definitely presenting itself. And if you know how to position yourself during these times, those are some of the traders that get the biggest gains throughout the bull run and for the rest of the bull run. So right now, I would definitely say start making a plan to our audience, start having a plan, start locking in and doing research on the narratives you believe in most, and start thinking about averaging in slowly, right? Because it's uncomfortable. Let's say you're aping all in right now. That's uncomfortable. We can go down another 40%, right? And to be honest, it wouldn't be crazy. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now is kind of averaging back into my favorite narratives, my favorite plays. How are you playing this red, Kevin? Are you sort of keeping your money sidelined? Are you just shorting, or are you
Yeah, I'm shorting.
strategically trying to get back in?
I have my spot bags. I do think I want to buy some alts, but the $1 million question is which ones, because they're all having a big discount right now, obviously.
Yes.
So I
Yes,
need to
indeed.
think and analyze and see which ones I want.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'm gonna buy some that people in the retail investors DAO, the retail DAO,
Mm.
have shared in there, because there's some great alpha going on in our Discord. And by the way, for folks who are watching right now, if you want to join our retail investors DAO, we have a Discord that's popping. Then the link to sign up is in the description below. Okay, so yeah, maybe I'm gonna buy some things from there. But I'm gonna buy it slow. I'm gonna average in, like you said, and maybe I want to buy some BTC too. I'm gonna keep my shorts open until they get liquidated and I save the
Smart.
markets. And there is one thing I want to share with you, though. One of my
Yeah.
favorite analysts on crypto Twitter wrote this tweet, and I'll just read it to you.
Okay.
Um, when should you be buying this dip? One, when people on crypto Twitter stop posting new leverage longs that they're doing to try to catch the bottom. Two, when memes have fully retraced, many have not. Three, when Telegram's ton, the leader of the cycle, finally retraces. And four, when the biggest coins start having negative funding, which means like more shorts. Shorts pay longs. Can
Hmm.
we look at ton for a second?
Yeah, I was just about to pull ton up. I love that tweet that you just shared, because to be honest, some of my indicators are already flashing. Let me go back to let's find ton. But some of my indicators are already flashing. Let me tell you, Kevin, because when you see good buy letters, when you're seeing, yeah, so ton, here we go. It's only down 5% on the month, 4% on the week,
Well, let's see
and
the
it's still
year.
doing well on
Let's
the
see
year
the
here.
Yeah, it hasn't retraced at all.
It hasn't really retraced. No, it went on that crazy run from a
Yeah, they
dollar
want
to
to
eight
see that
dollars.
retrace before saying the bottom is in.
Uh I wouldn't use that metric, to be honest. That's I
Maybe
mean that's a
retrace a little bit. I don't think it'll retrace all the way down, but
no,
you know, what is
no.
it at right now? Six,
It's
seven?
trading at $7.23 here. If you want, I could pull up Coin Market Cap, but
No,
it gives us a
this is
nice little
good.
chart here. Yeah. So ton, I wouldn't use that necessarily. There's a few indicators I like to see. Actually, if I pop over to my own Twitter real quick, as you can see, some of these celebrity coins are actually the jig is up with a lot of these celebrity coins. You see this one here down. Did he delete his original tweet
Dude,
here? Yeah, he deleted it. He deleted it. He
they
deleted
just
the tweet.
have bad advisors, dude. They just have people like giving them bad advice, like, "Hey, you should launch this coin, easy money. It'll be
Yeah,
fine. Don't worry. We'll do it all for you." Like,
yeah.
I don't
So
necessarily blame all the celebs. Like, a lot of them are getting bad advice from like Sahil and other people.
yeah. So Kamzat actually went ahead and deleted his original tweet inviting everyone to go ahead and buy the coin, drop the contract address, and it immediately dumped 93%. I didn't ape in. There's some celebrity coins that do decent, and there's some that don't do decent. For me, I want to see these actually be done. I want to see
Yeah,
these be gone. I think that sort of
I feel like
fad.
some of them are going to get into legal trouble in like maybe 6 to 8 months. Like, you'll
Quite
see some
honestly,
pump and dump market manipulation cases legal cases
That
against them.
that's exactly what's going on here. I mean, Kamzat and his team, or the people who deployed the token, bought up 71% of the supply and dumped it when investors joined. And that's sort of the case with most of these celebrity coins. I want to see that meta die out. I never liked that meta. Not to be a hater. I want to see that meta go away. I
Me
want to
neither.
see I want to see like I said, I'm already getting my first indication, which are people just kind of, crying on Twitter and saying they're leaving and just the heavy capitulation. That's why I'm like, okay, like maybe it's time to start thinking about getting in. I don't think the bottom is in, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, that's the number one thing for me. What would you say is the
So
bottom indicator?
that's a good question. But first on the celebrity coins topic,
Hmm.
I forgot who said it, but someone was like, celebrities joining us in a good way is like them like buying coins with us, doing research, buying like Soul, buying like other coins with us, and genuinely joining us. The ones that's like they want to join crypto and they want to add value and things like that. The ones that want to extract value launch a coin instead.
Yeah.
So that's a very clear thing. Like any celeb that comes in just like, oh, I'm launching my coin, that's like value extractive. So we
Hmm.
shouldn't like that. Whereas if they really want to like participate, then they'll buy coins with us, they'll learn, et cetera, and not just look to launch a grift within the first few
Yeah.
days of joining.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the goal with probably 99% of those celebrity tokens, right? They want to go ahead and make some money, quick buck, dump on the community. That's why it's a trend.
Back to your question about bottom indicators though. I think
Yeah.
the two main ones for me is that I want um what is that? I want the fear and greed indicator to stay at fear for
Mm.
ideally some time, like let's say a couple weeks or so. Um, and then I want the funding to go negative, which means that shorts pay longs. The shorts have to pay longs to stay open. Right now, I believe it's still positives. So I'm actually getting paid to have shorts open. I mean, it's a small percentage. Like the funding fee is like what,
Yeah.
0.1 or 0.01, something small. But regardless, I'm getting paid a funding fee to keep my shorts open. Whereas if everyone is trying to open shorts, then we have to pay to keep our
We have to
positions
pay the
open.
longs. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to see the
Oh,
funding fee turn negative for a bit to call the bottom as in. But who
I see.
knows? I mean, none of these may happen, and the bottom may be in. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. As I mentioned, I like to be a contrarian in the markets. But yeah, no, I appreciate you shorting to save the market. We couldn't do it without you, Kevin. Couldn't do it without. All
Shorting
right.
to
And
save the
so
markets. Yep.
yeah, 100%. And so Mount Gox, you have Germany selling, you have massive capitulation, you have maximum fear in the markets, people calling for crypto being essentially over. For me personally, that gets me excited to for new opportunities. And yeah, I like to see what happens next. So the meme mania, I want to share another tweet really quickly. If we pop over to this tweet by Beanie Maxi. He says we probably don't get the next crypto bubble until 2027. Seems like every 3 years or so we enter a mania of something. 2013 was Bitcoin 100x in a few months. 2017 we had the ICO frenzy and Ethereum going for 100x. And in 2020 we had DeFi summer, which rolled into NFT season. And 2024 was just meme season. Thank you for playing. This market cycle is pretty much dead until 2027. That's what Beanie, a respected analyst influencer here, is saying. What are your thoughts on this, Kevin? Do you think 2024 was definitely dominated by memes. It's fair to say that
Yeah.
this was a true meme season,
Yeah.
and that was the real opportunity and the real value of this cycle, or at least of 2024. And that's it. That's what was holding the altcoin market up and bringing in a lot of capital and volume into crypto. Would you say that has topped and that mania has seen like its best days for this year, and that's pretty much the main draw of the market from this cycle? Or do you think there's more to come or maybe some other narratives are going to start to really find its stride. Where do you think we go from here? Do you think this is do you think this is accurate, this statement here?
Well, I mean, the past things are definitely accurate. It's just pointing out like which was the craziest sectors or assets during each cycle.
Right.
Um,
That sort of carried it, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I hope we don't have to wait until 2027 to have another mania, but it is possible. Everything is possible, obviously. And
Fair say.
I do, but if Beanie is right, I want if Beanie is right, and I don't want him to be right for the record, then I will be right as well because I've been debating with a lot of people saying that I think retail may not join this cycle like they have in all prior cycles. And I know
Mm,
some people watching were like, no, retail always joins at the end, blah, blah, blah. But my thesis was that this cycle was driven by the institutions. Or meme season, definitely not. But like the ETFs and stuff, like just a lot of institutional buying rather than like retail FOMOing in
right.
like they did in the past with alts. So yeah, I think it's hard to say, but there's a lot of problems in crypto that we'll have to see how it shakes out. Like the problem of dispersion, which by that I mean too many coins. Like Pump.Fun made it that you can launch a coin in 2 seconds, literally,
Yeah.
with like 2 cents of gas fees. So
Yeah.
there's like thousands and thousands of coins coming out every day. I don't know, you may not remember, but back in the day when it was harder to launch it, there was only like 1,000 coins or 2,000 coins in the market. And now there's
Yes.
literally like 1,000,000 coins in the market.
Yes.
So
Yes.
all this capital going into like this random dog, this like 500th dog coin
Look at all
could
the
go into
dogs.
BTC. Yeah. It could go into BTC or other stuff. So the
Yeah.
point is
That
like it's going to be a different market. I don't know um how it's going to shake out. And someone said that Pump.Fun being the biggest breakout consumer app is like kind of sad for crypto. Like mass adoption is Pump.Fun. It's like
you know
a
what, I
platform
agree.
that it's a platform that like enables like 99% rug pulls.
It enables scammers, honestly speaking. And it is sad. I agree. It just saturates the markets. And it's so much hard. Crypto is actually harder today. The altcoin trading is harder today than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Sad to say, admittedly so. There is still life-changing, massive gains to be made. There is still huge plays to be made, but it's a lot harder than it was back in even 2020, 2021, right? I'm not sure if you were around for the Olympus fork season. You could almost choose anyone, and they were just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
20x, 50x, 10x. Like you can choose any layer two back in that cycle. AVAX, Polygon, Matic, you can't lose. You can't lose, right? Compared to today's, you have Starknet, Blast, Linea, Celestia, all these, just a
Yeah.
plethora of not only coins but entire blockchains. The saturation has gone up by multiples. There's so many different places to park your capital in crypto. Too many places at this point, with too many different. We do this better, we do that better. Transaction speed and all this stuff.
Exactly.
But there's literally hundreds of chains now, so it is a much harder game now. And you got things like Pump Fund, and things like this are only going to get better and more. So it's actually harder than it's ever been to actually make gains in crypto and to simply choose the right token, right?
Yeah, people were saying this is a tweet that happened a month ago, but people were saying like during the bear phase, like a few
Mhm.
months ago, or like maybe even more than a few months ago, but they were saying how this cycle is like working a 9 to 5 job because you have to be like constantly looking for like which ones are actually going to perform well.
Yes.
And in the past, when there wasn't that many coins, literally you can buy any random like let's say some sector leader coin was pumping. You can buy any like smaller coin in that sector, and it was almost guaranteed to pump even harder.
Yeah.
So it was
The bait.
easy business back then, but
Hmm.
now there's like such a bigger market, it takes more money to move, so many other choices, taking away
Hmm.
liquidity from the top ones.
Yeah.
So it's a much harder market to play, that's for sure.
Exactly. You nailed it. Before you actually were able to very consistently snipe beta plays, right? Okay, I was late to BNB. You buy,
Yeah, exactly.
AVAX, Polygon, and that did crazy. I missed Olympus Dow. There was Time Wonderland, if you remember that, went just as crazy. I missed this. There was the beta play, and today is not what it was yesterday.
Exactly.
Even on big scale like Lido, okay, Rocket Pool, right, um, and so on and so forth, right. So
Yeah,
it
the
just
beta
makes.
play, people were saying that the beta play is over. Or I mean, they're being maybe dramatic, but
Mhm.
like you said, it's not what it was before. Before the
No,
beta play was the right play to make. And
yeah,
now it's not really working. Like many sector leaders are the ones that keep on running, even though they're huge already. Whereas the smaller ones don't really do anything. And we see that in TradFi too. Like Nvidia was running and people are like, okay, it's already so high. Why don't I buy the other smaller ones instead in under it? But those went up a little, but they didn't go up
mhm,
nearly as much. They didn't keep on running. So the beta play seems like it's not the season for beta in any markets, to be honest. It's like the
right.
biggest ones, the giants are the ones that keep on winning.
Winners
Even
win,
for like
and that's the.
even for like ETH and Bitcoin. Well, there's not really that much Bitcoin beta, but ETH, for example, people are like ETH ETF getting approved. Let's find some ETH beta. But I think it's proven that in the past few months, that has deemed to be the wrong play. Like if you look at their pairs versus ETH, they've actually dropped further.
Yeah, you know what? Fair to say. Fair to say. I feel like there might still be some merit at the high scale. Definitely, again, not like it used to be. I guess technically, as far as ETFs go, ETH ETF is like the beta to the BTC ETF, maybe a little bit, or ETH, being that second major crypto asset after BTC. And I think people's beta play for the ETH ETF was Sol, right? And because you have Van Eck teasing. Applying for a Sol ETF. But again, I feel like for the most part, that's 100% accurate that the beta plays are not the plays, and accumulating the winners in the long run is more profitable.
Yep.
So over here, I'm pulling up the NVIDIA chart. Oh man, this is crazy. Look at their 200-day moving average. um,
Wow. Can we do the 4 hour chart or something?
4 hour chart. Yeah, let's have a look.
Or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
soaring
it's
over. This is
corrected,
their
but
200-day MA.
it's still holding um relatively close to highs. See, that's what I don't like. Like BTC fell so much even when the markets are holding. And then think about if the TradFi markets start dropping a lot, is BTC screwed even further? So hopefully the TradFi markets don't drop a lot.
Yeah. Let's see if we can see. Can we see Nvidia trading against?
No, we can't.
No.
Can you look at the
Interesting, because it's out. It's actually outperformed Bitcoin, which is actually kind of crazy to say.
yeah, it's the best
For me.
performing asset in the past decade. Can
Yeah.
you look at
Sorry, you
Nasdaq
had.
QQQ?
Pardon me.
QQQ, just three Qs. Yeah, that's the ETF for Nasdaq. Oh wow, it's at highs too.
Let's take a look at
Nasdaq's
the
at new
daily here.
all-time highs.
Yeah, it's soaring. What type of catalyst do you think the election could potentially play into the crypto markets?
Well, if if Trump wins, he's going to be crypto friendly if he follows through in what he said during his campaign trail. Um, Biden, we know his administration, Warren, Gensler, doesn't like crypto, but it all depends on what the result of the election is, and also rate cuts. Like rates are still high, tech companies are still suffering, um, and yeah, risk assets are not looking as enticing when rates are
Mm,
so high. But eventually, if it does come down, um, I think there will be bright times for altcoins and Bitcoin.
100%. I think the best is still yet to come. That election is a very. I'm watching that very closely. Again, just to pull up this chart one more time. This has been the effect of the election every time. And to be honest with you, with the amount of crypto talk that is in the market this time around, this actually I think has potential to be one of the most parabolic, as far as you have some of the presidential candidates truly advocating for crypto, or at least really wanting to win over the crypto community in the US, right? So there's going to be a lot of coverage. There's going to be a lot of um, technically promotion. It's almost like an advert for crypto and for Bitcoin, with some of these elections and with some of these debates. So I think that we're in for a little bit of an unexpected catalyst. They call it Black Swan. I guess maybe like a white swan or a Trojan that could potentially be coming, depending on who wins the elections and depending on some of the verbiage that we hear leading up to the elections. So again, you can see just the effect that it's had every single time. It's been the most aggressive part of the bull run is when we're going into these elections, and I'm optimistic
Post
about how
election,
this
right?
one's going to go. Pardon me?
Post
Yeah, post
post
election.
election, yeah.
You can see the post election run in the green here, and the blue line being the election itself, right? And then the
Well,
run that
let's
it's
hope we
had.
get that again. That would be
Let's
nice.
hope we get it. That would be nice. And then so you can
So
see
we
the
just gotta
upside here.
hold on tight until then, and
Exactly.
not get destroyed by the markets.
Exactly. And so, as I alluded to earlier, the important thing I'm doing right now is uh, averaging in and slowly positioning myself accordingly. And maybe we can give some time to the audience to maybe get a look at what they're looking at, see how some of our community is preparing themselves for this next phase of the bull run. So, if anyone has any
Yeah, any
projects that you
interesting
want us to
things,
look at, drop it
projects,
in the comment.
projects or thoughts in general, anything you want us to check out, then just leave it in the chat. Let's see what people have said beforehand. Yeah, major support, reversal, doom scrolling, many months left for all-time high. I hope so. I'm not scared to catch a falling knife. I have diamond hands.
Bulls running on hopium. Yeah, I like to see that. I like to save some comments like that. Many months left for all time high. I would agree, especially when looking at the charts we were just having a look at. Um, Funding needs to go negative. Incredible that it is still positive.
Yeah.
The community,
I think this is good. We don't necessarily need to always analyze individual projects, especially at times like now.
right?
Um, I think it's more fitting currently. Like when it's bull mode, we want to be analyzing projects like crazy. Like which ones do we get into? Like
Yeah,
don't be
yeah.
late, blah blah blah. But now it's more like high level discussions of the pain that's just happened and what's to happen
Macro.
next.
Yeah, the macro scene. I would say be very, very conservative and cautious to those of you that are aping into altcoins at these levels. We could still have a lot more downside. Definitely don't jump all in on
Yeah,
any
exactly. Don't
single
just
alt.
do what Josh suggested. Average in slowly over like think about it. If he's right about the election post-election pump, then you got what? July, August, September, October, November. You got 5 months of
It's a long time.
potentially sideways or downside. So you don't need to ape in completely into these Rune, Jup, Jasmine, Gala.
Yeah, definitely not Gala for me. But yeah, you nailed it on the head, Kevin. I feel like that this presents an opportunity, especially to some of the new market participants, to learn, to join strong communities like Retail DAO,
Yes,
get around, a lot of savvy investors like you and myself who are always in the markets and looking at the markets and just learning where some of the opportunities are and positioning yourself accordingly. There's an opportunity in every cycle of the market, you know. It's an
definitely.
opportunity. And yeah, so I would definitely take that time to learn, averaging slowly, join some of these communities, see the sentiment actually within some of these communities is what I really like to do. Like, for instance, I recently joined an NFT community last week, and in spite of everything going on in the markets, this was probably like some of the most based vibes I had gotten in from a community and
Nice.
people who are so sure in what the project is building. And it was just really dope to see. So there's some really great communities out there. There's really great projects out there. Doesn't mean you have to go all in at once. Take your time, learn the keys, and position yourself for success for the rest of the market. So that's what I'd be using this time to do. You don't always have to be risk on, right?
Yeah. These are some good questions, folks. I don't think we'll necessarily spend the time today to dive into each of these, like Jasmine, Athena, Aptos, Sui, or Say. Maybe if Josh has some quick thoughts about them, but I do want to say once again, you can ask these and have these discussions in our Retail DAO Discord. Link to sign up is in the description. There's a lot of investors like you guys who care about research, who care about analysis. So definitely recommend y'all sign up and join that Discord.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's you can't go wrong on the fact that right now Retail DAO is completely free, and you get access to guys like Kevin and myself. You can literally just come in and talk to us, and we just talk crypto all day. I'm always in there. Kevin's in there. A bunch of great investors are in there.
yeah. And to
So
answer Shravan's question, I don't think Aptos will flip Solana.
yeah.
No, I do not.
Not, I definitely do not think so either, and I just don't like sort
That'd
of
be some
their VC.
crazy stuff. I
That'd be
don't think
crazy.
Solana has too big of a head start and its entrenched value proposition and market sector and stuff.
I have heard a lot of good things about Aptos Tech. So, like, I guess you never know if they built something just insane that's truly groundbreaking, maybe. But I don't see Aptos flipping Solana at all. And then there's Sui versus Say. Which would you choose? I like Say. I like parallelism. I like what they're doing. I love the Cosmos IBC technology and UX that you get with the Cosmos IBC, but then they're also making it EVM compatible with parallelized EVM blockchain. So Say is one of my favorite picks. It's supposed to be like a trader's blockchain, right?
Nice.
So I like Say a lot. Their airdrop like disappointed so many people. There was so much FUD around it, but the chain delivered so well that it went on a crazy run. And Say is yeah, one of my favorite projects. So yeah, I personally go Say over Sui, but Sui's great too. What do you think?
I don't have a strong opinion on this. I know you've done more research into it, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I
But
like
okay, I think this
parallelized.
was a great stream today. We don't necessarily have to take the entire hour. Would you like to wrap us up?
100%. So first and foremost, anyone who is new here, we do this every single Friday, dropping important market updates and giving you important alpha. So if you're new here, be sure you subscribe. And yeah,
Yes.
100%.
And I'm doing these with Josh leading, but I think after a couple more per se, you may be able to do these by yourself because you have a good hang of it now. So
Thank you, Kev.
I'll just be lurking in the chat with the chat,
Yeah,
and then you
100%.
can lead the way.
Sounds good. Yeah. So if anyone wants to give any feedback, be sure you just go ahead and drop a comment. Join us in Retail Dial. You can come talk to me, come talk to Kevin. And yeah, next Friday we will catch you guys on stream 11 a.m. Eastern time. So be sure you show up.
Peace.
Peace. Have a good one.
You click the end stream.
That's so funny.